is not specific to scientific breakthroughs, to medical discoveries. There is an incredible amount of value that is driven in the way that we do business every day. And so innovation in business models, how we scale, how we think about operations, and ultimately how we grow the economy that powers everything that we do. A little bit of technical difficulties, but everything that we do in our daily lives. So some of the most impactful innovations in the last 20, 30 years really actually come from reimagining how we build, grow, and sustain these businesses. So I want to talk to you today about an underutilized model of entrepreneurship, and that's search funds and entrepreneurship through acquisition. So this model is transforming the way that individuals become business owners. They allow them to acquire and lead successful companies without having to start from scratch. So what is a search fund? At its core, it's an investment vehicle through which an entrepreneur raises capital from investors to find, acquire, manage, and grow a single existing company. So to understand the search fund model, it's often helpful to compare it with private equity and venture capital. These are two well-established approaches to business investment. Venture capital focuses on early-stage, high-growth startups with unproven business models but significant upside potential. Investors take minority stakes, they spread risk across multiple startups, and they accept high failure rates in exchange for the possibility of outsized returns from a few breakout successes. Private equity, on the other hand, typically targets mature, larger companies, often acquiring controlling stakes through leveraged buyouts. PE firms focus on financial optimization, operational efficiencies, strategic exits, often through IPOs or sales to larger corporations or strategics. And search funds sit somewhere in between these two models. So unlike VC, which backs multiple startups, and PE, which acquires large businesses, search funds are focused on acquiring and operating a single, established, and profitable small or mid-sized business. So the entrepreneur, often an emerging leader, strong operational experience, maybe an MBA, searches for the business, becomes a CEO, works to grow the company over the long term with aligned incentives. The model was pioneered in the 1980s at Stanford University in the United States by Irv Grousbeck, a leading figure in entrepreneurial finance. Since then, it's grown into a global phenomenon. Thousands of successful acquisitions across North America, Europe, Latin America, new momentum building in Asia. And why does ETA matter? Because it represents an alternative pathway to entrepreneurship, one that de-risks some of the volatility of starting a business from scratch. Instead of facing the brutal odds of a startup, entrepreneurs can acquire an existing business, proven revenue, proven customers, proven operations. They then inject fresh energy, innovation, strategic direction. They scale it further. And this approach is particularly relevant in today's landscape. Across the world, millions of small and medium-sized enterprises are owned and operated by baby boomers. They're approaching retirement. In the United States alone, it's estimated that as much as $84 trillion in wealth will be passed from this aging generation to Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z. Think about that, $84 trillion. And much of that is taking the form of small enterprises, middle market businesses, your community operations. These businesses, many of them, they're highly profitable, but they have a succession problem. So, who's going to take over when the current owners retire or pass on? The search fund model provides an elegant solution. Young, ambitious, skilled entrepreneurs. They can step in and lead these companies into the next phase of growth. So let's talk about an example of this, and the most successful search fund, arguably to date, Asurion. Asurion, when it was acquired by two search fund entrepreneurs, was a small roadside assistance company. But roadside assistance requires a mobile phone, and mobile phones, at the time, required insurance. So Kevin Tawil and Jim Ellis acquired a mobile insurer, and they transformed Asurion into a global insurance business serving millions of customers and grossing today $8.5 billion in revenue. So put simply, the idea that entrepreneurs must start businesses from scratch is a myth. Some of the most impactful business leaders in this world, including Warren Buffett, Michael Dell, Elon Musk, have achieved success with companies they have not created, but they've taken them on and they've made them extraordinary. Search funds and entrepreneurship through acquisition offer similar paths, but they create lasting value. And this brings us to an exciting question. What is the potential for search funds and entrepreneurship through acquisition in India? And for that, I will turn to my esteemed colleague and dear friend, Dr. Namit Choksi.
Thank you, Arielle. Well,